Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Spin. As always, I'm John Alaska. This is Tiffany, Pierce, and Jesse. And today we're going to talk about Uber, write-in votes, campus safety, and the Donald Trump protests. So let's start. Do you guys ever get so drunk that you need an Uber?
Yeah.
Yeah. No? Don't lie. I know you.
This coffee is really tasty. I don't know what I put in it, but it's just like the best coffee I've ever had.
Hennessy?
It could be.
Uber terrifies me, so I don't trust people, and I don't know. It's weird. I don't like to be drove around by a stranger, like, and paying money for that too. Like,
Well, what if you Uber, right? And your mom turns out to be an Uber. What do you call an Uber driver? Just an Uber? Yeah. And then she picks up, and then it's like, why are you drinking? And then it's awkward, and then you have to go to jail. I don't know. I've never Ubered before, clearly, but
I've Ubered multiple a time. I like it. I just sometimes, like, the Uber driver wants to talk to you. And I don't want to be an awful person, but I don't want to talk to you. And then sometimes, like,
it's like
it'll smell like cigarettes in the car, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to get, like, lung cancer. I signed up to get a ride home.
It's like when you're in a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
And you're in a stall, and there's a person in the stall to your right of you. You don't want to talk to them, but they always start talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is the worst thing that's ever
It's
happened
like
to
a
me in my entire
spare
life.
square situation.
Yeah, so in an Uber car, well, it would be worse in the Uber car, right?
Sometimes though, they have good stories. Like occasionally, if my friends are talking about something that like the Uber driver does not need to be focusing on, I'll strike up a conversation with them. Like, hey, what's your worst Uber driver story? What's the coolest thing?
And,
Where'd
like,
you come from?
yeah.
This
You know,
one.
this
With
one.
you.
Yeah, and
I
they're
was
like, oh,
born
and your
in
friend's
this
talking about
car.
her ex.
But I feel like also Uber in other cities is a much classier affair. Like in Jacksonville, it's sort of like you're in this grimy car. Like in LA, like New York, there's stores like they have water and like candy and like
Yeah.
TVs in the car. Like why don't we get that?
I've never been in a grimy one. Although in Orlando, we had one where he had like phone chargers set up in the back and he didn't have water or snacks or anything, but that one was much nicer than any of the ones I've taken here.
But like, do you feel like safe in them?
Yeah, I'm always in a group.
Yeah. I mean, I take them alone sometimes, and I still feel safe because I don't think it's any different than taking a taxi or something.
Well,
Those
why
freak
wouldn't you
me
feel
out,
so?
too.
Anybody can be an Uber driver,
Yeah.
basically, right?
Well, they need to have like some background checks.
And
How- but how
like,
deep do those go?
There's requirements for your car too.
Yeah.
Like it has to
But
be
I mean,
nice.
I feel like if someone really wanted to kill me, they'd just do it. Like they don't need to. Like I feel like it's a really elaborate.
that's very good logic.
No, it's like a really elaborate. Like to be an Uber driver, go through those background checks. Like it's a really elaborate plot just to kill someone.
Yeah.
Like you could just kill someone. Like why
I
do you
don't-
need to get in an Uber to do that?
You know, if that's
Yeah.
what makes you feel safe, then you
these
keep
very
going.
these very fragile social constructs we live by.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're gonna get McTurned, you know, at least have like a DD. You don't have to spend money on an Uber. You know, just have like one of your friends.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm drinking like 3 bottles of Hershey's, what's it called?
Hennessy.
And
We're trying to plug for future segments.
yeah, I'm drinking all these Hennessy's, and you know, I'm drunk. I gotta get somewhere, and the Uber man comes, right? The Uber man with his hat, I'm sure he wears.
Sometimes it's a woman. Don't gender norm Uber.
The Uber people come with their
They.
orange skin and their green hair, and they sing me a song and take me to some part of Willy Wonka's factory, and I'll never be seen from again in the movie.
All right. So speaking of Hennessy, let's talk about these write-in votes. So a lot of people voted for Harambe, or wrote in Bernie, or wrote in Hennessy. That made me mad.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Can we have some respect for the dead, please?
Bernie or Hennessy?
Harambe.
Harambe.
Yes.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Just because Bernie's
I
old
don't-
doesn't mean he's dead yet.
His political career is.
Oh.
But anyway, let's continue talking about. So
I was upset because our generation is so obsessed with memes, so they went so far as to use our democracy to write in memes.
But I feel like this whole election has been a meme between like Donald Trump.
it is.
Like that's the biggest meme ever. Like we
Yeah.
out-memed ourselves.
It
That's
just
true.
It's like democracy is now an IRL meme.
Right. But like really you don't want to think about the election so much that you're going to write in a dead gorilla. Like especially too
Would
like
it be okay if he was alive?
and it's
No.
not okay at all, but like I know during the election when we were covering it, people were really upset over third-party voters, and they were like, Twitter was freaking out, people were freaking out, and they were looking at the numbers of like Gary Johnson votes compared to what Hillary was losing by and trying to blame that. But those numbers were normal.
Yeah.
11,000 people or whatever it was voting for a dead gorilla
Was it
is
the
not normal.
Yeah,
like
and like even like
15,000.
she's on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on track
Crazy.
to win the popular vote by like over 1 million, by like the most, the biggest margin ever. Besides, like she got more voters than any other white president ever. But she still lost. But
Well, except for Harambe.
Harambe, I don't think.
He's not white.
Like, rest in peace, Harambe, but
Yeah,
I don't need you to be our president.
Yeah.
Okay, but I understand Harambe. He was a great guy. He died. He was taken to us way too early. But what about this this beverage? What's it called?
Hennessy?
Horse.
Hennessy.
Hennessy.
Liquor can't run a country.
Yeah. What is that? Is that a meme I don't know of, or
It's. I think
No.
it's from Drake. Like when he holds like the bottle of Hennessy in Hotline Bling. I think.
that's why?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's people that just because you're 18 doesn't mean you need to go vote.
And
people.
Drake's even Canadian too. So
Can
like,
he
Boy.
vote?
so
Can Drake vote?
can he
I
vote?
don't know.
I don't-
Do I want Drake to vote?
Why wouldn't he be able to vote?
It's kind of cool if I can vote and Drake can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I do think Donald Trump running did sort of delegitimize our elections a little bit just because this man has no experience.
Yeah.
And he could run. So then why can't you vote for someone like Drake or an alcohol who like has no experience or can't have any experience because they're not alive either?
Right.
Like I think like we've sort of delegitimized our democracy to where it's okay to like threaten the whole system because you think a meme is funny.
Right.
Well,
or people were like,
memes are
okay,
funny.
this election is a joke, so why can't I just
Or-
turn my vote into a joke?
Or people think like their vote doesn't matter, but when you actually look at the numbers,
mattered
every
a
single
lot.
vote counted
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
something.
it's
You
true.
know, I mean, they were.
So think about that next time when you're voting for Harambe or Tiffany or Hershey's Kisses. Then
Hennessy.
it's your fault,
It is a fault. But I do
for
think
better or for worse.
Harambe's already dead, but soon the meme will die too.
I hope.
I hope
So do
goodbye.
I. It's not funny anymore.
It was never funny.
Alright.
It was sad.
And you know what's sad? This segment. So we're going to go to break and we'll bring it right back. Hello to those viewers that decided to stick with us through that commercial break. Now we're going to talk about, do you feel safe in an Uber? But do you
My
feel
name's
safe?
spelled wrong.
It's gonna be okay.
My name's
Yes.
spelled wrong on the thing.
That's the...
I comes before E except after C. Thank you.
Yes. That's the only thing wrong with this show. Anyway, all right, we're going to talk about, do we feel safe on campus?
Okay, so earlier this week, we had a student respond to a Craigslist ad asking about, I think he was a single dad trying to hire a babysitter, but she got in his car and
Well,
when
that was allegedly what he was.
whatever. She got in his car and when she did, he like kind of went for second base, started groping her a little bit.
He
and
pulled a Donald Trump.
He did. He pulled a Trump.
Allegedly.
And now we're talking about it. So that brings up the question, do you feel safe on campus? Do you think this kind of thing is like kind of common on college campuses, or do you think it was a one-time event?
Overall, I think I feel pretty safe on campus. There's like those nice little blue pole things that you can press if you're in danger. I feel like it's awful that happened to her, but also like you need to use kind of common knowledge. Like don't go out to a man's car at dark 30 and like,
Yeah.
at least have like a friend with you or something. Like
Especially if he has a mustache.
exactly, yeah.
Unless it's an Uber and you're drunk, then totally get in any car.
Right.
And if a man says he's going to pay you $1,700 a week, just run away.
That's a lot of money.
I think too, a lot of it is like, as unfortunate as this is, we live in a world where as women we need to be more careful.
Oh yeah.
So you don't respond to Craigslist ads, you don't get in the car with strange men. If he's paying you $1,700 a week to babysit his kids and be his friend, he probably wants
Yeah.
a little more than a
And it's
babysitter.
sad that we have to worry about these things,
Wait, what was that
but
song? Oh, that wasn't clear.
so yeah, it's sad we have to worry about those things, but also, just you gotta be careful.
There are legit Craigslist ads.
Yeah.
And Craigslist
There are.
it's like the new way to get, it's like the new hip way to get babysitters
No,
to
just sign
babysit
up
your
for
babysitter.
care.com like a normal person.
Yeah.
Well, wait, what.com?
Care.com?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a babysitting website.
Oh, well then there you go.
Made for and by white people.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
This week's episode is sponsored by care.com.
By white people.
Okay, but
Wait,
from some white people to other white people, let's talk about these Trump protests. How do you feel about, I saw a Trump protest downtown. I got off work and it was right outside the building I work in. And they were going at it pretty hard.
Wait, which kind of protest was it?
It was like an angry protest.
Like people who voted for Trump are angry, or people who didn't vote for Trump are angry?
Why would people that voted for Trump be angry he won?
They're like,
no, it was
"Ah,
people.
gotta be angry still."
No, it's people that were
rigged.
mad that Hillary Clinton didn't win the Electoral College. Were protesting because Donald Trump won and they don't like Donald Trump. I think it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, go at it.
I think it's
Go at it.
valid and important to make your concerns known. I don't know about the protests. I don't really understand what the end goal of them is.
I think because I actually wrote an article for this for you on Spinnaker.com that'll be posted soon. But it says that the only way these protests are useless is if they stop. Because you have to keep pressuring Donald Trump and Republicans to hear you. Because they don't listen to your calls. His aides open emails. He doesn't read fucking emails. Like,
He just
like,
deletes them.
yeah. Oh, like, yeah, like you get more coverage and you get more, legitimacy if you just protest. But I think if they just stop protesting, then it was for nothing. Like they can't obviously protest every day because unlike some Republicans, Tommy Lauren, who think they don't have a job, they actually do. So I think these aren't people on welfare. So I think you got to keep going. You can't stop.
I think that the violent protests aren't. I don't advocate for violence in any situation. I think that I understand why people are upset. So I think that there's something to be said for people who are doing it peacefully, because if you're going to be violent towards other people, you're not going to get your point across. And people who supported Trump are just going to keep defending the statement, oh, all liberal kids are angry, all millennials schma, I think that the peaceful protests are definitely effective, and I think that it's very admirable that people are still so passionate about what's going on in our country. And if you look at the millennial vote, our generation voted for Clinton. And
Overwhelmingly. I think there were 3 states that Donald Trump won.
Overwhelmingly. So I think that these protests are definitely going to be more effective the more peaceful they are and the more conceptual they are and the less kind of just angry.
It's Harambe all over again. I mean, when Harambe was shot, there were these protests, and they weren't that violent.
Really?
But imagine if Harambe was elected president. Would we have these protests as well? Or
There was a dog elected
Well,
senator.
I think you have to
A
be
what?
There was.
Yeah.
A
you have
duck?
to be a certain
Dog.
age and a certain breed to be president, and I think that breed is human.
I don't think Harambe was 35.
Yeah.
Harambe was like 12, so.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Back on the topic of protests, though, I think with your point that they have to continue, I don't know that they can continue for 4 years. So something that I've seen a lot of is people urging people to go out and volunteer and turn that anger, turn those feelings into something good. And I think that's an important next step for all of these protesters to take is get out there, make your opinion known, but then go do something about it.
Well, I totally think, yes, you should volunteer, you should donate your money, but it's not good enough. It's just not good enough because we've seen people volunteered for the Clinton campaign and it wasn't good enough. You can have the best ground game, but that doesn't mean you can win anymore. And I think what you have to do is you don't have to protest every day, but on the anniversary of his election, the inauguration, the first 100 days in office, you can protest because I think the most dangerous thing, and I think the media has already started doing this, is that they're forgetting every crazy thing Donald Trump has said and trying to legitimize him as a normal president. This man is not normal. And I think these protests need to keep reminding people that he has called Hispanics rapists, he has called every Muslim terrorist, he has bragged about sexually assaulting women. This is what these protests are about. They're about keeping that front and center and not letting him get away with it.
And at the end of the day, we as a community, as a country, we have, no matter who's president, I mean, obviously they have the power to change our lives, but we also have the power to help each other out at this time. So I think that the biggest thing we can do right now, the most effective thing we can do right now is just all come together. And it sounds so like kumbaya cliche, but honestly, I think that if we all come together and work hard and volunteer and peacefully protest, we can get a lot of stuff done, and we can maybe help these 4 years go by a lot quicker.
But I'll say to all those people on the Republican side calling for unity, for liberals to unite, there was no unity after Obama was elected. No. You were calling him a monkey. You were saying he should hang himself. You were calling him a communist. There was no unity whatsoever, and I think unity is just a way to quell dissent.
Well, to be fair, not everybody said he was a monkey. I mean,
Right, but I think
Harambe's a monkey, but we can all agree. So do we think that all these protests should keep going as they are, or do you think that the people who are protesting should take their time and do something else with it? Like you said, donate, volunteer.
If you're concerned about women's rights,
Mexican
go volunteer
girl.
with
Yeah,
women's
do we
rights.
think
Exactly.
protesting is important enough that they should
Yeah.
work on it, or do you think it's
Mexican girl voice. Why can't we have both? And we'll see you next
Porque no los
episode.
dos?
We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching The Spin. Protesters, be safe, but keep it going. Bye.